Hello, I'm Mizo. Today we're going to discuss refugee and immigration. They're two different things. In India, in 1971, our neighbor, Pakistan, their army went berserk. They were ordered to kill civilians. And it seems that they had killed at least 1 to 2 million civilians in a matter of a couple of months. So, about 20 million people ran away from then East Pakistan, now Bangladesh, to India. And they were all refugees. None of them were given citizen status. So, the other example is from Tibet, around 1950. The head of state of Tibet was Dalai Lama, and the Chinese pushed him away from Lhasa, this is the capital of Tibet, to India. And he came over with his followers. Now they were all given asylum. And this thing is about 60 years from now, about 4 generations have passed, and even today they are not been offered citizenship. So this is the Dalai Lama principle. The Dalai Lama principle is that immigration and refugees are two different things. A refugee faces real persecution and a real danger to life, and he comes over on a temporary basis to another country. The moment a refugee applies for citizenship, he is no longer a refugee. Then he is an immigrant, and the immigrant is subject to various checks and controls. In fact, all these people who are arguing about illegal immigration today, I must remind you that in India too we have a US embassy, and in the US embassy there is a 30% chance of getting legal immigration. That is, the US embassy rejects 70% of applicants, and they accept about 30% only. And all the applicants are very much more qualified and very much more they can speak English and stuff like that. And all of them about only the 30% chance of getting through. And that too, many of these applicants have got some relative in United States. Now, if you take out these people who got relatives in the United States, then your chance of success goes down to about 10%. So that is the state of the illegal immigration today. So, moment you apply for citizenship, you stand in a queue in which your chance of success is 1 in 10. So, this is the Dalai Lama principle, which says that a refugee is a refugee and an immigrant is a immigrant. Moment you claim citizenship, you stand in a different queue. Now, the 5 myths of illegal immigration that the leftists are propounding today, and they are this is just propaganda, it's all lies. What are these 5 myths? Number 1, now this myth says that the refugees come unarmed. Well, if you go back say 1,000 years back, then about a dozen hunter tribes could get together, and they could start raiding the nearby territories, maybe even conquer entire empires. Well, those days are gone now. It's not possible anymore, because even very well settled countries and secure countries, they have armies, and these armies are armed with modern weapons. A dozen tribes getting together, hunter tribes getting together, can't overpower these armies. And these armies are standing armies, that is, they exist for on a continuous basis. They're not enlisted and then they go back. It's not like that. It is just a career now. So, armed aggression is nearly impossible, at least for private citizens, or even for small tribes or small groups of people, unless it's a very small country. Even small countries, you can't have armed aggressions against them. So that thing is gone. So when you say unarmed immigrant, that's a misnomer, because it's no longer possible. But all these immigrants who are coming into democratic countries, they are armed with one solid thing, and that is the vote. They have, they are powered with their vote, and they are powered with their. If they can do it, then the political stuff, canvassing for votes and stuff like that. Now, they might say that illegals don't vote. That is not true at all. In fact, illegals do vote, and I know that illegals do vote. However, if it is a fact that illegals don't vote in the United States, then there should be severe penalties on them. But no leftist will agree to severe penalties on for illegal voting by illegal immigrants, because they know illegals vote. Given the fact there might be some people who have got those high standards, moral standards. Refugees don't have any standards anyway. Suppose you do have a illegal with a very high moral standard and he or she does not vote, then their children can vote. So whenever a single guy comes in, man or woman, they come with their vote, and that is a powerful weapon, as all politicians of all shades of opinion in United States will testify. So these illegal immigrants who are coming in, when you say they are unarmed, they are not unarmed, they are armed with their votes, and that is a very powerful weapon today. Then number two, automatic asylum. Like you walk in and you just say something that I've been prosecuted or somebody wants to kill me, something like that, and the government is against me, and you got automatic asylum. No, that is not true at all. In fact, if you land in a airport and then you ask for asylum, they simply put you in the next plane back. So if you land in an airport and they put you in the next plane back, why is the land border any different? So there is no such thing as automatic asylum. You claim asylum, then the host country, that's in this case the United States. We're talking about the US-Mexico border now. In this case, the United States. They go through the facts for you, and if they find the facts all right, then you give an asylum. There is no such thing as automatic asylum. So all these claims that the illegal immigrants are coming and once they claim asylum become legal immigrants, that is not true at all. In fact, they should once and only when their claims are verified in some way or the other, then only they can get that asylum. Otherwise, it is not automatic at all. Now, number three, multiculturalism is good for a country. This is nonsense, because you see, America was settled predominantly by whites, and the American way of life and the American economy reflects that. Now, if multiculturalism is good for the country, look at the biggest achievements of mankind. The British Empire, they were not multicultural that time. The Japanese, they taught the world fantastic mass manufacturing. See, up to that point, mass manufacture was shoddy goods, and hand manufacture is good, very good quality goods. But the Japanese changed that paradigm. The Japanese produce goods on a mass scale, which is fantastic quality. But Japanese are not multicultural. The Chinese miracle. The Chinese was a starving country in 1950, and they went in for some type of capitalism. And in what 50 years, they had vast industries. Like their factories are miles long, and employing 100,000 workers in one factory. So they are not multicultural. they are closest thing to monoculture you can think of. Or Germany, during the war, the Germans produced robot technology. Rocket technology. The Germans actually produced rocket technologies. Nobody else was successful. And they produced jet technology. Again, nobody else was successful. So, and they were not multicultural that time. Us Hindus, we produce one of the best literature philosophical literature in the world. We want multicultural that time. So the Ottoman Empire, they were built by Arabs. They weren't multicultural that time. So all the big achievements of the world haven't come from multicultural societies. It's not, if you're saying that multicultural societies are better, the history doesn't support you. Anything you can think of, all the great achievements of mankind, most of them come from monocultural societies. So to say that multicultural is better is just it's just a claim that is political in nature. Now we come to the fourth part, that America, we're talking about the US Mexico border. Now the claim is that America is a land of immigrants. So let's make this thing very clear. When the whites were when white Europe was immigrating to America, they were actually settlers. See, the land they went to was never farmed. They were virgin land. So all these people who came from Europe, they were settling on virgin land that had never been farmed ever. They began farming land for the first time. So they were actually settlers. And even then, a lot of them actually went back. A lot of the settlers actually went back. So there's land to be had. It is a virgin territory. So basically they were settlers and they needed that population to farm the land. Then after that, this land expansion of land went on for centuries. And after that we had this the first factories being set up. This should be about 150 years back. Now when the first factory was being set up, they needed the workers for the factory. So even that was in a way virgin territory. But we are talking about 2018 now. 2018 America is saturated. I say that America is saturated because there is a small unemployment, but bigger than that, about 20% of America lives off security. If suddenly the American government stopped social security, then about 20% of America will face a lot of problems. So that means at least this 20% of the population is surplus in some way or the other. So it is a society in which there is surplus people. So in first case there was virgin territory. Now America doesn't have any more virgin territory. So it doesn't need those immigrants. In fact, probably doesn't need those legal immigrants too. But that's a different story altogether. So to say that America is a land of immigrants is history. It used to be at one case, but today it's not. Today America is saturated. It does not need any immigrants anymore. So that is a big myth, that America is a land of immigrants. By the way, 60,000 years back, there was no human beings on earth except in Africa. So it's just a matter of time. Every single piece of territory in the world at one time was land of immigrants. So the earth by itself, except Africa, parts of Africa, is a land of immigrants. So it's just a matter of time scale. If you stretch the time scale enough, then all of us are immigrants, because we all came from Africa. And the rate of immigration is very slow. In a matter of 1,000 years, maybe 100 kilometers, 200 kilometers. So the rate of immigration was very slow. So we are all immigrants in that way. It's a matter of time scale. So if you shorten the time scale, then America no longer needs immigrants because all the virgin territory is gone. Then the fifth thing, the citizenship. Refugees entitled to citizenship, this way or that way. Now, why a refugee cannot demand citizenship? See, a refugee is a person who's fleeing away from extreme problems. It could be even poverty, but that is just refugee. A refugee cannot claim. The moment you claim citizenship, then you stand in a queue of legal immigrants. You can't short circuit that process. So there is no automatic way to citizenship. In fact, even partial citizenship or any citizenship at all, a refugee is just a refugee. So the Dalai Lama principle applies. So there are these 5 myths that the leftists are talking about, when they're talking about immigrants, that they're talking about these 5 myths. One, they come unarmed, which is a lie. They can claim automatic asylum, which is another lie. They say that multiculturalism is better, which is another lie. They say that America is a land of immigrants. It used to be, but no longer it is. And then they can claim citizenship sometime in future, maybe 20 years from now. That is also not true, because India has not given citizenship to the Tibetans even 60 years on. India has not given citizenship even 60 years on, and I think we are doing the right thing, because they are refugees, and when the political problems are solved, they will go back. With this, I come to end of this talk with you. Thanks for listening in. This is Mizo. I'm signing off.